Hello, I'm reviewing 2009 theatrical cut of the theater cut of Watchmen from 2009, directed by Zack Snyder. I give this a 10 out of 10. It is absolutely fun and violent. Fun. It was lots of fun of a movie, which is comic book violence. R-rated comic book violence. Lots of fun action in this movie. I was blown away how good the story was and how good and mature the story took itself. And how good the action was, well shot, and I enjoyed the slow motion shots of the action scene, which is cool and violent and nicely shot by Zack. So I enjoyed that, and I enjoyed the characters, especially Rorschach. I have trouble saying his fucking name. Fuck. And Dr. Manhattan, I enjoy. And the main villain, who was also used to be a Watchmen member, but took the role of the villain, and the main villain in the movie, and I liked him too. And I liked the comedian, and the original, and the other lady Silk. I like both Lady Silks, the original, and also the main other Lady Silk that we follow in the story. I like both characters, and I like the, I like all these characters in the movie. I like the mature theme, like the mature tone it took with his comic book characters brought to life. I really enjoyed it, and I also really enjoy the over-the-top nasty violence that people get when people get brutally injured or murdered by the Watchmen members. The Watchmen are heroes. Yeah, Rorschach murders them. The other Watchmen members don't really murder, but they do brutally injure them normally. Like, leaves them with a couple broken bones. And not walking it off injury in one piece, you know? It's like that kind of awesome R-rated violence. I enjoy this movie a lot. And I enjoy the characters a lot, and I like how the characters... I like how the movie had a good sense of, when it needed to be funny, it told a joke to loosen up a moment, and it felt like authentic. Okay, it didn't feel forced. I don't know any jokes. Okay, so I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the jokes in the movie also. The minimum amount of jokes that it told, I enjoyed. I enjoy the visuals, I enjoy the color grading and the visual of the color grade, and I love everything about this movie, even the CGI, the sets, the designs, and the costumes of the Watchmen. I really am obsessed with this movie. This is actually my favorite Zack Snyder movie to this day, because I think the reason why this is my favorite Zack Snyder movie is in one of my favorite DC movies of DC Comics of all time, maybe my favorite live-action DC Comics thing of all time, because I don't know, well, it's definitely one of them, but I think one of the reasons why they think I love this movie so much, because I picked up the Watchmen comic book graphic novel after I watched the 2009 theatrical flick of Watchmen, the movie, because I love the movie so much. After my dad took me to see it in theaters as a kid back in 2009, I caught the movie out my New Red Comics, I think it was. I found it on the shelf, and I decided to and I asked my dad to get me it, and he did, and I still had that comic, and what I was surprised by when I looked at the comic of how faithful the comic was, and how much how faithful this movie was to the comic. I was surprised on that, really. I was very surprised how lots of story beats, basically the story beats from the comics of the Watchmen comic graphic novel that this movie from 2009 did, but directed by Zack Snyder, is based on that graphic novel. This movie, Watchmen, I was surprised when I checked out the graphic novel. I was surprised that this movie basically takes pretty much reimagines the entire. It tries its best to reimagine, to reimagine the story of Watchmen from the comic, but be as faithful to as much as possible. Which, but takes it serious as much as possible, like the comic would. And I was surprised how faithful, when I looked at the comic, was how similar the comic was to the movie. Because I just saw the movie first before the comic. I didn't know shit about the comic before I watched the movie. Okay. Then I found out, okay, this is. Then I watched then I found the comic in my local comic book shop, Newberry Comics, I think it was, and I got that, and I was surprised how much similar the movie is compared to the comic. It is surprisingly very faithful, and it's pretty cool, actually. I gotta give kudos to that. That's a respect. That's kind of cool, actually. I think. And that's why I give Watchmen to the theater cut from 2009 a 10 out of 10. Now I give the... Now I'm going to talk about the director's cut. I give the director's cut a 10 out of 10. I like the director's cut a little more than the theater cut. But just because it's longer, mostly. And I like these characters so much, so I'm glad I can spend more screen time with those characters, so that's why I like it more. The director's cut over the theater cut of Watchmen from 2009. The Watchmen movie. You know, 2009's Watchmen movie. That's what I think on the director's cut. I love the director's cut even more than the theater cut. I give the director's cut a 10 out of 10 also. And that's my thoughts on Watchmen, why I give it a 10 out of 10. The director's cut and the theater cut of 2009's Watchmen. I give them both a 10 out of 10, both cuts of the film Watchmen. I enjoy both cuts, but I enjoy the director's cut a little more. I give both a 10 out of 10. It is awesome. Now I'm going to review Daredevil from 2003 movies. Daredevil, the theater cut rated PG-13, I think. This movie, to me, is one of my favorite comic book movies of all time. I give this a 10 out of 10, and the reason why I'm giving this a 10 out of 10, because this kind of introduced me to Daredevil as a kid. This was the first thing I ever saw Daredevil in. I didn't even look at the Daredevil comics before the Daredevil movie. I mean, I was aware of him, but I never looked at read his characters, any of his stories, you know? Then I saw the Daredevil movie, and I became obsessed with the Daredevil movie as a kid. And I'm still a bit obsessed with it to this day. I love the Daredevil movie. That's why I give it a 10 out of 10 for introducing me to the character and getting me into the character. It did the same thing Watchmen did to me. The 2003 Daredevil movie, why I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. Well, it may not be, well, true, I will admit, like, well, to change some things from the comics of Daredevil the movie. Now, is it true Daredevil, like, change some things from the comics? Yeah. Like, they changed some of it. I mean, I guess they changed, like Daredevil's villain Bullseye doesn't have a costume, for example, which is strange. But I didn't think it was a bad movie, actually. I thought it was a damn good movie. Daredevil from 23. 2003's Daredevil gets a 10 out of 10 for me. The theatrical cut, the theater cut, that's rated PG-13, and the R-rated director's cut of Daredevil from 2003 gets a 10 out of 10 also. Yes, the director cut's R-rated and the PG-13 is the theater cut. I personally like the R-rated cut a little more, but I still like the theater cut also a lot. But I have flicked back and forth in my head off-on. Every day of my life since I've seen both cuts of the movie. I flip back and forth. Which one I like more often. I flip back and forth too often. Which one I like more. So don't take my word for that. Which I like the director's cut more, so I can flip back off and back and forth. Okay. So you have to take that with a little grain of salt. Okay, that opinion on mine. Which one is better, the spirit cut of the director's cut or the theater cut of Daredevil in 23? It's tough for me. That's for sure. Okay. That's why I give Daredevil a 10 out of 10. I love these cast of characters, and I love the acting, I love the visual effects, and I love the story. I love the overly serious tone it took, and I love the violence in the movie, and I liked all of the whole thing, and I liked Daredevil's costume even. Design on his costume. I like his costume. I like all the character design. And I like Michael Clark Duncan as the Kingpin, too, and Colin Farrell as Bullseye, and Jennifer Garner as Elektra. But my single favorite performance was Ben Affleck's as Daredevil. I thought he was the best part of this movie. I was surprised how good the Kingpin was. Because as a kid, because I was surprised because, he doesn't look like much like the King. He's a different. He doesn't look like the Kingpin from the comics because he's Michael Clark Duncan's not a white character. Kingpin is a white character in the comics, and known for being a white character. in the big white character that's bald in the comics. And Michael Clark Duncan, I was a little surprised how good he did job, because he doesn't look that much like Kingpin because of his skin color. So it just looks different. He just looks different to Kingpin to me than I would expect. So I was surprised how good he was. I mean, I always thought he was I always thought he was a talented actor. I think Mike Clark Duncan's I thought Mike Clark Duncan would do a good job in this movie as the Kingpin. And everyone did. And I like Colin Farrell as Bullseye. I think he was my second favorite character and performance, next to Ben Affleck's Daredevil. Bullseye was so over the top of a character, and such a happy, over the top character when he kills people. It's like, I mean, he's like such a funny character. What a character I found him, like a funny character, but also besides not just like, but I just didn't find him like a, you know, I also found like he was also a pretty good villain, you know, like a really good threat villain. To Daredevil. It's a good match for Daredevil. And so was Mike Clark Duncan as the Kingpin, and is a good opponent for Daredevil. Like there's like two villains in this movie, Mike Clark Duncan and Colin Farrell's Bullseye, and both villains get a fair amount of screen time, get well enough to flesh out them. And neither characters really die in the end. And the movie teases a sequel that's canceled by now. But wouldn't that be cool if we got a sequel to this? I think it would have been. If we got a trilogy with this. But I can't get nice things, can I? For when it comes to franchises, right? Comic book franchises, I guess. That's why I give Daredevil a 10 out of 10, okay? That's my review on both Daredevil and Watchmen from 29 and Daredevil from 2003. That's my review on both movies. On why I give both movies a 10 out of 10. Okay. Goodbye. I'm going to advertise my show now, and subscribe by hit the bell first, and then hit the subscribe button second. That's how you get subscribed. Hit the thumbs up to enjoy my content, to like my content. Hit the thumbs up, and check out my other content. Share my content, and when you check out my other content of my other videos to my older videos, make sure you hit the thumbs up on them if you like them. My videos, of my older videos, okay? Bye. Good morning. I just realized this morning. Bye.